Every person watching this knows one fact: no one can escape. One day, you will die. Not someday in theory, not just other people, you, and yet almost nobody truly believes it. You make plans for next year. You worry about tomorrow's problems as if tomorrow is guaranteed. Your brain quietly assumes you'll still be here. More than 100 billion people have lived before you. Every single one of them eventually disappeared. So why does your mind struggle to accept the one thing it knows is inevitable? Most people think we fear death because we don't know what happens afterward, but that explanation doesn't go deep enough. Even people with strong religious beliefs fear death. Even people convinced there's nothing after death fear it. Something much older is happening inside your brain. Go back millions of years. Imagine standing alone on the African savanna as the sun disappears below the horizon. You hear movement in the grass, the wind, or a leopard. Your ancestors had no hospitals, no medicine, no police. A single mistake could end an entire bloodline. The humans who survived weren't always the strongest. They were the ones whose brains treated survival as the highest priority. Natural selection didn't reward optimism. It rewarded caution. Deep inside, your brain is a small structure called the amygdala. Its job isn't to make you happy, it's to keep you alive. Long before you're consciously aware of danger, it has already begun preparing your body to survive. Your heart races, your muscles tighten. It doesn't stop to ask whether the danger is real, because reacting too late was always more dangerous than reacting too early. But death presents a problem your survival system has no answer for. Unlike a predator, unlike fire, unlike disease, death cannot be escaped forever. Every other threat has an exit run: hide, fight, climb. Death offers none, and your brain hates a problem it cannot solve. That's where the real fear begins. Humans are the only species that can imagine the future while also realizing they won't be part of it forever. That single realization shaped our religions, our myths, our civilizations. So are we actually afraid of dying? Or afraid of something much deeper? Close your eyes and imagine a world exactly 100 years from now. Cities still exist. People still laugh. The sun still rises every morning. The only difference, you're no longer in it. Most people feel something strange here. Not sadness. A quiet resistance. Because your brain automatically places you at the center of your own reality. Every memory, every dream, every relationship you've ever had exists from a single point of view, yours. So when you imagine death, you're not just imagining an event, you're trying to imagine the complete disappearance of the one experiencing reality. And that's nearly impossible, because consciousness has never experienced its own absence. You've slept, you've lost consciousness, but every time you woke up again, your brain has no reference for permanent non-existence, so it fills that gap with uncertainty. And evolution wired uncertainty to feel exactly like danger. There's a second layer to this fear, and it has nothing to do with biology. It has to do with meaning. Every goal you've chased, every friendship you've built, every skill you've spent years learning depends on one assumption: that you'll have more time. Death interrupts that story without asking permission. It closes every unfinished chapter. Perhaps that's why people regret the things they never did far more than the mistakes they actually made. Death doesn't only end life, it ends possibility. In 1973, cultural anthropologist Ernest Becker published a book that changed how psychologists understand death. His argument was unsettling. Humans don't simply fear death, they build their entire lives trying to forget it. Becker argued that every civilization, every monument, every religion, every work of art is, in some way, an attempt to become part of something that outlives the individual. A name, a family, a legacy, anything that whispers, "I was here." Psychologists later tested this. In one experiment, people were simply asked to think briefly about their own death. Afterward, they became more defensive of their beliefs, judged people who disagreed with them more harshly, and showed stronger loyalty to their own culture and identity. Just thinking about death changed how they behaved. Psychologists called this terror management theory. When your brain becomes aware of death, it searches for something larger than itself, not because it eliminates death, but because it makes life feel meaningful despite it. That's why parents sacrifice everything for children they'll never see grow old. Why artists create work they hope will outlive them. Why scientists spend lifetimes chasing discoveries they may never see finished. Modern life mostly just distracts us from all of this work, entertainment, endless notifications, because silence forces the mind to remember that time is passing, and time never turns around. So maybe we've been asking the wrong question all along. Not, why do humans fear death? But, why do humans care so deeply about life? If life had no value, death wouldn't matter. The fact that losing it feels tragic is proof that life itself is precious. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wrote that you could leave life right now, and that this should shape everything you do, say, and think. It wasn't meant to frighten people, it was meant to wake them up. Every conversation is temporary. Every sunset is temporary. Every person we love is temporary. And maybe that's exactly what gives those moments their beauty. A sunset isn't disappointing because it lasts only a few minutes. Its value comes from the fact that it cannot last forever. Death has always frightened humanity. But perhaps its greatest gift is teaching us how to truly appreciate being alive. Because one day, the clock you've ignored your entire life will tick for the very last time. And until then, every second is a gift you can never get back.